Hello and welcome back, my friends. Another new day is upon us, and with it, of course, brings a new portal. This time around, we are going to have the Goblin portal that is back. And might I add, with much anticipation, we now see the newest Goblin added to this portal. I cannot tell you how long I've been waiting for this, seeing as though it is called the Goblin portal, and yet we have not seen goblins in this thing for how long? Like, well over a year. I mean, we're probably getting closer to like almost a year and a half since we've seen the last goblin released. So, without further ado, let's take a little bit of a closer look at our newest goblin friend and get ready for the Age of Goblins to reinfest this portal with some, hopefully, fresh blood, and we'll take a look at what we got. So, we're starting out with a yellow cleric. So, cleric class is always useful with the extra ability to resist negative effects and so on and so forth. Let's take a look on if they've changed the Goblin family bonus at all. It says bonus for 1, 2, or 3 heroes. Each time this hero takes damage from an enemy's special skill, remove 50, 75, or 100% boosted health from all enemies. So they left the family bonus alone, but quite frankly, it's such an awesome family bonus. Like, it really is an amazing family bonus to get rid of all of that boosted health. So if you're going up against boosted health healers, the goblins are just clutch at helping to remove all of that. Then also in the passive department, we have effect on special skill. A 50% chance to perform the following actions when this character casts their special skill, deals 90% damage to all enemies, and all enemies get negative 25% accuracy for 3 turns. Once again, another pretty decent passive, although I will say this feels a little strange to me because the reality is they haven't released a goblin in so long that I feel like this passive ability, which has not changed from when goblins were out before, is now just kind of lingering a little behind the curve when it comes to the strength of passive abilities that are being released right now. I would have much preferred that they considered that when moving forward, but the reality is they didn't. This is what we got, so let's just work with it for now. It is still okay, but the 50% chance, I feel like it could have been a little bit higher, but that's fine. All right, then Aether Power, we have Special Armor. So for the first 6 turns, this character will will gain 40% defense against special skills, giving her some more survivability at the beginning of the fight. And then down here into her special, we have Princess Unleashed. Oh, that's awesome. Named his little pet, or her little pet, right? I don't know, him, her. Anyway, that's Princess. What a cute little Mega Minion, apparently. So, summons a Rat Princess Mega Minion with 35% HP and 160% attack inherited from the caster. When summoned, the Rat Princess Mega Minion gives its owner the ability to deal 240% damage to all enemies each time any other ally casts their special skill. Wow. Okay, that's kind of fun. Actually, that's a ridiculous amount of fun. So we'll go into why. First of all, this Mega Minion's not that strong. 35% HP, 160% attack. As Mega Minions go, this might be one of the weaker ones out there. However, this effect that the Mega Minion gives you is kind of making up for that. Now, where's the negative side of this character? Well, it exists in the fact that the only thing they do is summon this Mega Minion. That's it. That's literally the only thing they do. So if you're going up against a character that perhaps like steals a Mega Minion, they can pretty much negate this entire person's special, take your Mega Minion, and then this character is just sitting there taking up space, right? So there is a lot of vulnerability that this character creates in the fact that the only value they bring is in creating this Mega Minion. There's also a lot of Mega Minion counters that exist in the game currently. So when you put those things into consideration, I don't love that. I don't love a character that's solely based around the creation of a Mega Minion and really doesn't do much else. It's just a little too niche. They really need to be offering like at least a group defensive buff or an offensive buff or some growth or some wither or something, right? Like something else in case that Mega Minion is just handled efficiently and there's nothing else gained from the character. That's not great. But let's remove that from the equation for a moment and just take a look at what this Mega Minion does. The fact that you can summon this Mega Minion, and then for each other special that goes off that turn, this Mega Minion is going to do 240% damage to all enemies. All right, so you obviously want to get this special up, but you want to save it until you have other specials up. Like, let's use, for example, someone ridiculous like Dunnerheart, right? Dunnerheart is doing 500% damage to all enemies by himself, right? Well, if you're using him when in conjunction with her, that 500% damage will go off, but this Mega Minion will then do an additional 240% damage to all enemies. Now, let's say you had another character to follow up that's another hit all. Now, all of a sudden, you've got maybe another 350% damage to all enemies going off, plus another 240%. I don't think, well, hold on, there's a question mark. It says, each character can trigger this effect once per turn. So there is a limitation, each character, though. So in other words, you could technically set this ability off 4 times in one turn with all of your other characters, which would then add up to 960% damage to the opposing team if everyone else's specials are ready to fire off right after this Mega Minion. So understand that I think that's the play with this character. That is 100% the play. You save this character until you are ready to bombard the other team with a ton of specials and just wipe them all out in one turn, because in reality, if you cast this Mega Minion ahead of time and then wait for following turns to do the special skill, there's a very good chance a 35% HP Mega Minion is going to be wiped out pretty quickly, or stolen, or whatever the case may be. So please, 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 if you use this character, only use it when you're ready to cast multiple specials at once and blow up the board. Otherwise, you're going to be disappointed with how this character exists. However, if you do utilize her correctly, or him, I guess, you can absolutely devastate the opposing side in one turn with the amount of damage you're doing to the entire party. So with that in mind, let's give a rating. If we are to rate this character, let's say, oh God, I don't know. Like, I think this character is going to be pretty weak defensively. Offensively, when you can get your timing right, could be pretty powerful. I'm going to honestly give it a 7. Like a 7 as in like an average character, because yes, you can do some really crazy awesome stuff, but also the negative side is that like this character can also do nothing for you. Like on defense, if the computer is not using this character correctly, it will do nothing for you, and that is a bit of a disappointment. So I don't know, this character might even drop down to like a 6, because I think it might be slightly subpar, but its potential to absolutely wreck on an offensive team, I'll bump it up to a 7. So like, I guess if you want to look at it that way, we could do 2 ratings like we did for Ironheart yesterday. Defensively, I give him a 6. Offensively, I would say he can go up to a 9, because the reality is, if you time it right, you can literally devastate your entire opposing team with so much damage they don't really know what to do. And it's going to hit all of them. So even if you don't wipe out the whole board, you're probably only leaving them with like 1 or 2 guys left alive with very little HP. It's going to swing the board pretty dramatically if you can pull that off. So, yep, that's it. We'll go with that. 8 to 9 on offense, 6 on defense. Still an interesting character, but I would have liked more out of the first Goblin released after a year and a half. But we will wait for the next portal and see if they do a little bit more justice to this Goblin family and go from there. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great morning.